right, let's jump right in, shall we? Today's deep dive is all about this thing called Superteam.
Oh.
Now, another day, another team, right?
Yeah.
But this one, well, it's being called a global movement. And not just any movement, a movement specifically in the crypto world. We've got a whole stack of articles, tweets, even some personal stories about people whose lives have, well, been changed, like really transformed by this community, this super team.
Okay.
So let's dive in and see if it lives up to the hype.
Yeah. So one thing that's really jumped out at me is that Superteam, they're not just, your typical crypto enthusiasts. They're really laser focused on Solana.
Okay.
And they've got this whole thing structured around this idea of learning, earning, and building. It's like a very intentional approach to fostering growth and innovation in that specific ecosystem.
Yeah, and they're not just talking the talk. We've got a list here of all these nearest super teams, and they're all over the map.
It's like India, Vietnam, Germany, and Nigeria, the UAE. Like it seems like they're putting down roots everywhere.
Yeah, no, that global reach, that's definitely intentional.
Okay.
They're actively, building this network that connects like talent across borders. But they're not just about spreading geographically. Like they're also, really diving deep into different aspects of the Solana ecosystem,
Yeah.
They've got all these different initiatives.
Okay.
Like there's this Super Team Productions, which is focused on creating content. Then there's Earn, where members can, earn crypto. And an Idea Bank, where they can brainstorm and collaborate on different projects. They even have these Instagrants for like quick funding of promising ideas.
Wow.
There's a Super Team handbook to kind of guide members and a members lounge for networking, and even this fast track program for, accelerated learning and development. Wow. So that's a lot more structure than I initially, thought it might be. It sounds like they've really thought about, every stage of a person's journey in the Solana space.
Yeah.
But with all this going on, are they actually, I guess, like making a dent in the crypto world? Or is it just a lot of hype?
Well, I mean, we've got some pretty compelling evidence to suggest that they're the real deal.
Yeah.
We've got these quotes here from some major players in the crypto space.
Okay.
Like, we've got Phantom, the leading Solana wallet.
Yeah.
Austin Federa from the Solana Foundation itself.
Right.
And Kanaf Korea, a well-known figure in the crypto investment world. And they all seem to agree that Superteam is a force to be reckoned with.
So it's not just, I guess, the, members who are singing their praises. It's people outside the community who are recognizing their influence.
Exactly. And that influence, it translates into tangible results. One of the sources here highlights how Superteam has actually helped people earn their first salary in crypto. They've actually coined a term for it's their GDP, and it's already reached $1 million.
$1 million. That's putting your money where your mouth is. I mean, It's one thing to talk about opportunity, but it's another to actually see people generating income.
Right.
And I think that's what separates Superteam from a lot of other groups. They're focused on creating real economic empowerment.
And it's not just about theoretical earning potential either.
Okay.
We've got this incredible story from Solana developers about a developer in Sierra Leone who's using Superteam bounties to potentially earn like 3 to 5 times their typical monthly income.
Wow.
Like that's life-changing stuff.
So we've got the structure, we've got the influence, we've got the economic impact.
Yeah.
But what about, I guess, the people? Like, I'm guessing there's some pretty interesting stories behind these numbers.
Oh, absolutely. And that's where it gets really fascinating.
Okay.
We've got these anecdotes about a student who went from working these like small, almost unpaid, digs to collaborating on these like top Solana projects. And it was all thanks to the connections and guidance that they received through Superteam.
So it's not just about financial gain. It's about opening doors to opportunities that wouldn't have been, I guess, accessible otherwise.
Exactly. And there's this other story about someone who found their first Web3 job through Superteam's job board.
Wow.
And they actually, they credit the entire trajectory of their career to this community.
That's amazing. It really shows how impactful a supportive community can be, especially in a fast-paced field like crypto.
Yeah.
And from what I'm gathering, it's not just limited to one part of the world.
No, not at all. You're right.
Yeah.
We've got tweets highlighting Superteam's activities in Vietnam, Germany, and Turkey. They organized a Solana coding camp in Vietnam, a women power-focused event in Germany, and hackathons in both Turkey and Germany.
And it seems like that global reach is translating into real results.
Yeah.
One source mentioned that 4 out of the top 5 contributing countries to a Solana global hackathon had active super teams. So, they're not just participating, they're becoming leaders on a global stage.
This is a really important observation, yeah. Superteam isn't just, a local phenomenon. It's becoming this driving force in the global Solana community. And what's even more impressive is that they're doing all of this while emphasizing, love and respect as core values.
Right.
It's not just about winning, it's about growing together.
So it seems like we've got a lot to unpack here.
Yeah.
We've established that Superteam is more than just, a group. It's a global movement with a clear vision, a structured approach, and a genuine impact on both, the Solana ecosystem and the lives of its members.
Mm-hmm. Right. And what's really interesting to me is how they've managed to create this sense of collective energy and purpose. Mm-hmm. It's not just about, individual ambition. It's about building something bigger together.
I'm curious to, I guess, delve a little deeper into those personal stories.
Yeah.
We've just, scratched the surface of how Superteam has impacted, people's lives. So let's see what else we can uncover. Okay. So we've talked about the structure and the impact, but, let's get into the nitty-gritty of how this community is actually like changing people's lives. Mm-hmm. We've got these personal stories that go way beyond just like, oh, I made some extra crypto.
Yeah, absolutely. These stories they're really the heart of what makes Superteam, so compelling.
Right.
For example, we've got this one individual who shared their journey. They joined Superteam kind of casually through a Discord link, didn't really know what to expect. And then like the next thing you know, they're speaking at one of the biggest crypto conferences out there.
That's wild. Like, talk about a glow up. I mean, it makes you wonder, what was it about Superteam that like unlocked that potential?
Yeah, right. And remember that student we mentioned earlier, the one who was struggling to make ends meet with those tiny gigs.
Right.
They specifically credit Superteam with turning things around.
Wow.
They're now working on major Solana projects, earning real money, while they're still studying.
It's like Superteam provided, the structure and the support they needed to take their skills to the next level.
Yeah.
It's a powerful testament to the community's, impact.
And it's not just, isolated success stories.
Right.
There's this sense of collective growth happening within Superteam. Mm-hmm. Another person talked about, landing their first Web3 job through Superteam's job board. And they said, like, every opportunity that they've had since can be traced back to that initial connection.
So it's not just about, individual achievement. It's about building like a network of support that propels, everyone forward.
Exactly. And we even have a story of someone who completely like pivoted their career.
Oh.
They were working this traditional job at TCS, this huge IT company.
Yeah.
But thanks to Superteam, they transitioned into the world of crypto.
Right.
And they're now, collaborating with some of the top people in the industry.
Okay, hold on. That's making me rethink like my entire career path.
Yeah.
But seriously, what is it about Superteam that enables these kinds of, transformations? Is it the resources they provide, the mentorship, or maybe just like the shared belief in Solana's potential?
Well, that's the $1 million question, isn't it?
Right.
It's likely, a combination of factors.
Yeah.
You have this very structured approach, with all those initiatives that we talked about,
yeah.
which, provides this clear roadmap for learning and development.
Right.
They also emphasize collaboration and support, fostering a culture where people feel comfortable asking questions and, helping each other out.
And don't forget the love and respect motto.
Right.
I mean, it sounds cheesy.
Yeah.
But it seems like they're actually walking the walk when
Yeah.
it comes to, creating a positive and inclusive environment.
You're absolutely right. And that kind of culture, it can be a game changer, especially in a field that can be, as competitive and volatile as crypto.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we've seen how Superteam is impacting individuals,
Right.
but what about their role in the, I guess, broader Solana ecosystem?
Hmm.
Are they just focused on their own members, or are they contributing to the growth of the whole space?
Well, based on what we've gathered, it seems like they're taking a very active role in pushing Solana forward.
Yeah.
Remember all those events they're organizing.
Right. Yeah.
The Solana coding camp in Vietnam, for example.
Yeah.
That wasn't just about training super team members.
Right.
It was about equipping a whole generation of aspiring developers in the region with the skills to build on Solana.
And let's not forget the women power focused event in Germany.
Yeah.
It's great to see them promoting inclusivity and diversity within the crypto space.
Yeah.
Which, let's be honest, has had its fair share of, issues in that department.
For sure.
And then there are those hackathons they've organized in Turkey and Germany, which, bring together these talented developers from all over to create innovative solutions, on the Solana blockchain.
Right.
So they're not just talking about building on Solana, they're creating platforms and opportunities for others to do the same. It's like they're acting as a catalyst for the entire ecosystem.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah, they're creating this ripple effect that extends far beyond their own membership.
Okay, so we've established that Superteam is making waves both within its community and in the wider Solana ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
But is this model sustainable?
Yeah.
Can they maintain this level of momentum, or are we looking at a flash in the pan?
Yeah, that's a valid question. I mean, it's still relatively early days for Superteam, so it's hard to say for certain, what the future holds.
Yeah.
However, the fact that they've already achieved so much in such a short time is a pretty strong indicator of their potential.
Yeah. I'm curious about their funding model.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do they finance all these initiatives?
Yeah.
Are they reliant on external investors?
Right.
Or are they self-sustaining?
That's another key piece of the puzzle. We haven't come across any information about their funding sources yet. It's possible they have a mix of funding mechanisms,
right,
including membership fees, grants, or even revenue generated through some of their initiatives.
Right.
Like, Superteam productions, for example.
That makes sense. It would be interesting to see how they balance community-driven efforts with financial sustainability. It's a challenge for any organization.
Yeah.
But especially one that's, growing as rapidly as Superteam.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's something to, to keep an eye on as they continue to evolve.
Right.
But even with those unknowns, I mean, what they've accomplished so far is undeniable.
Yeah.
They've created this vibrant community, fostered real economic opportunity, and contributed significantly to the growth of the Solana ecosystem.
I'm also curious about the potential downsides.
Yeah.
Could this hyper focus on Solana limit members, opportunities in the broader crypto space?
Right.
Like, what if another blockchain suddenly takes off?
Yeah.
Would Superteam be able to adapt?
That's a thought-provoking question. It's true that their laser focus on Solana could be seen as a potential risk.
Yeah.
If the Solana ecosystem were to experience a major setback,
right,
it would undoubtedly impact Superteam and its members.
Yeah.
However, their deep expertise in Solana could also be a significant advantage.
Right. They've positioned themselves as experts in this specific niche, which could make them even more valuable if Solana continues to grow.
Exactly.
So it's a bit of a gamble, but so far it seems to be paying off.
Exactly. And it's important to remember that the crypto landscape, it's constantly evolving.
Right.
What's hot today might be old news tomorrow.
Yeah.
And Superteam's ability to adapt and respond to these changes will be crucial to their long-term success.
So for someone who's new to, I guess, the crypto world, what's the one key takeaway about Superteam?
I'd say it's a prime example of the power of community in this space. Mm-hmm. They've shown that by focusing on a specific niche, building a strong network and fostering this culture of learning and collaboration, it's possible to create real opportunity and drive, significant impact.
It's like they've cracked the code for community-driven growth, in the crypto world.
And what's really exciting is that, this model could potentially be replicated in other areas beyond crypto.
Okay.
Imagine if we had super teams tackling challenges in healthcare, education, or climate change.
That's a thought that's worth exploring. We've seen how Superteam has fostered a sense of shared purpose and collective action within, the Solana community.
Right. They've demonstrated that people are eager to contribute their skills and talents when they feel connected to a larger mission and supported by a like-minded community.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
We're still in the middle of our deep dive into Superteam.
Yeah.
Before we go off, dreaming about other superpowered communities,
Yeah.
let's take a closer look at the global reach of this movement. We've already, touched on their activities in various countries, but let's explore how they're connecting and empowering people on a truly international scale. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground already with Superteam, their structure, their impact, even some potential downsides. But I think it's time to zoom out and really appreciate, the global scale of this movement.
Yeah.
We've touched on their activities in various countries, but I'm curious to see how all those pieces fit together.
What's really fascinating to me is how they're not just parachuting into different countries and imposing, this one-size-fits-all approach.
Right.
They're really adapting to the unique needs and opportunities of each region.
So it's not just about planting a super team flag in every corner of the world. It's about cultivating, local communities that are connected to that global network.
Exactly. And the way they're doing that is by empowering local leaders,
Okay.
to take ownership of their super teams. They're providing the framework, the resources and the support, but they're letting the communities themselves, shape their own destinies.
That makes sense. It's like they're creating this decentralized network of super teams, each with its own, flavor and focus, but all united by that common purpose.
And that decentralized approach, it's reflected in the diversity of their initiatives. We've talked about the Solana coding camp in Vietnam,
Right.
but they're also, doing things like hosting workshops on blockchain technology in India.
Oh, wow.
Supporting women-led crypto projects in Germany, and even partnering with universities in Nigeria to offer courses on Web3 development.
So they're not just focused on the, techie side of things. They're also investing in education and community building. It's like they're laying the groundwork for a more inclusive and accessible crypto ecosystem.
And that's a crucial point. One of the criticisms of the crypto space has been its lack of diversity and accessibility.
Right.
And Superteam seems to be actively addressing those issues by creating opportunities for people from all backgrounds and skill levels to participate.
And it seems like that approach is resonating. I mean, we've seen how Superteam has managed to attract, this global community of passionate individuals, and the diversity of perspectives is likely contributing to their success.
Absolutely. When you bring together people with different backgrounds, different experiences, different ideas, you create a much richer and more dynamic environment for innovation.
That's like they're tapping into, the collective intelligence of the global Solana community.
Yeah.
And that's a powerful force to be reckoned with.
It is. And it speaks to the potential of this model to extend, beyond the realm of crypto.
Right.
I mean, imagine if we could replicate this kind of community-driven approach in other sectors, like in healthcare, in education, and in climate change mitigation.
It's a tantalizing thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
Imagine a world where people from all walks of life are empowered to collaborate and innovate.
Yeah.
Tackling some of the most pressing challenges facing humanity.
And what's really inspiring about Superteam is that they're not just talking about it, they're actually doing it.
Right.
They're building the tools, the resources, the community infrastructure to make that vision a reality.
So as we kind of wrap up our deep dive into Superteam, What are some of the, I guess, key takeaways for our listener?
Well, I think one of the most important takeaways is the power of community. Superteam has demonstrated that when you bring together a group of passionate individuals with a shared purpose, and you provide them with the right support and resources, incredible things can happen.
Absolutely. They've shown that it's possible to create this global movement that's not just about, hype and speculation, but about real world impact, economic empowerment, and community building.
And they've done it all while staying true to their core values of love and respect.
Yeah.
They've created this culture where people, feel valued, supported, and inspired to do their best work.
It's like they've created a blueprint for how to build a thriving and impactful community in the digital age.
And perhaps even more importantly, they've shown that this model can be replicated in other areas beyond crypto.
Right.
Superteam could be the spark that ignites a global movement of purpose-driven communities, each focused on a specific challenge, collaborating and innovating to create a better future.
That's a powerful thought to leave our listener with. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day grind and lose sight of the bigger picture.
Yeah.
But Superteam, it reminds us that we have the power to create the world we want to see.
We just need the courage to dream big, the willingness to collaborate, and the passion to make it happen.
And who knows, maybe you, our listener, will be inspired to start your own super team, tackling a challenge you're passionate about.
Yeah.
I mean, the potential is limitless.
It truly is.
I know.
And with that, we conclude our deep dive into Superteam.
We hope you found this exploration insightful and perhaps even inspiring.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep building.